Professional journalists have a big job to do, but there are also student journalists, young people just like you who are learning about what it's like to go out, find and bring back stories of what's happening in their schools and communities.
You can make a difference immediately, whether you're middle school, high school, college. I started out writing for my middle school newspaper, and I changed policy inside the school because I was representing the viewpoint in my columns of how a lot of students felt. Today, you have tools that I never had. You can publish content today on Tumblr or on Facebook or on Twitter. You can use your phone and get great video. So you can be a great storyteller today in ways that I never could, and you can impact change, whether it's your local school or your small town or who knows, even the country.
Students in the digital education program at Hugh STEM High School in Cincinnati are working with PBS NewsHour's student reporting labs to create video reports. The class has split up into teams, each covering a different story.
We are working on a story to tell people about sports and how they relate to STEM in our school and how they help students. We have the science, technology, engineering, and math. And the skills we learn in the classroom, we can also take to the court or to the baseball fields. STEM and sports, it connects.
The project I'm working on is high schools of choice. Next year, high schools are going to be 7 through 12, which is kind of tricky because of the age gap, and some parents and students and even teachers are not happy with the decision, and some are. It gives 7th and 8th graders more time to transition to a high school setting.
You just pick the high schools that you want, like your top 5, and then the school will get back to you and you know if you're accepting. They might not get into their first choice, but they might get into their second or third choice. It affects the students, the school, elementary schools, and it affects parents because of their students. So yes, that's an attention grabber.
In class, we had a lot of discussion about what would be a good story. We had to determine which was more relevant, which was more controversial, which one was more current.
The project I'm in is intercession. I chose intercession because that is like the main thing that's different about Hugh STEM. Intercession takes place 2 times a year. Only a few schools do it. The fall intercession is basically about anything that's preparing us for school. Like we'll go on college tours. Spring intercession, that's when we choose out of 52 topics that range from Marines all the way down to music, or it can be cooking. You learn so many different things during that week that you can take with you throughout your life, and it can help you get jobs and internships. I think journalism does give you the opportunity to explore stuff that you want to know about. It really does take a whole team to do a video because everybody has to have their own little part, everybody has to contribute, and everybody has to be ready.
My favorite part, honestly, is probably the whole interview part, with being with the cameras, the sound, the lights, and then just seeing it all come together. I love that.
I do think journalism is important. I think it's definitely good to inform people and share other people's opinions. I always want to impact people, either through inspiring them or giving them some type of knowledge. I always want to continue that.
Students at Lakota East High School in Butler County, Ohio, actively use their journalism skills with the publication of their monthly magazine, Spark. This nationally recognized magazine also has a website and produces podcasts in order to keep their readers up to date on what's happening between issues.
Right now we're putting together Project 150, which is our biggest issue ever in the 21 years of Spark. It's 150 pages. It's a lot of work, but it's really worth it when you see the final product.
There's different departments. There's sports, there's opinion, there's feature, and there's package. And package is kind of the main section of the magazine. Every issue, you choose some large topic to cover for the package. So we've done a gun control package. In November, we did an election package. So it involves a lot of work going into the package because there's about 10 to 12 stories in each one. For example, the gun control package, we had a story about the law and what the changes would mean, and then we went to the gun rally and we had vignettes, which are stories that focus on like a specific person. And then we talked to like the police chief of Westchester about the gun law and the changes that it would mean in our community.
For the gun issue, I made a graphic, and it was really, really interesting how much research we were doing just to see all the stats on how many people own guns or firearms and how impactful having all these guns is in our community.
This year I've written one package story, a news story, and an opinion piece. I think that the work that I put into it is so worth it because I know it's not just a grade in the grade book. It's actually going to affect like people outside of the school, and it actually matters in the real world. It's not just like an English essay that you're gonna write and throw away.
A lot of people read the Spark and they come up to us and they say things like the election package informed so many people who weren't sure of exactly what was going on at the time, not just in our school but throughout Liberty Township and Westchester.
Journalism is important because without journalism, you just have like a bunch of people that are making their own assumptions about something, that are just living in their own little world and not really like looking at the big picture of things. Not only does it provide like great stories, things that you would never have learned about, but journalism gives everyone a rounded view of how everything actually works, whether it be like arts, news, sports. Journalism informs, and to be informed is really the greatest weapon anyone can have.
There's so many different ways of writing and talking and communicating. Whatever your area of interest is, there's probably a way to write about it. You might not write about it for the New York Times. You might not do a talk show about it on, 700 WLW, but there's a way for you to express an opinion or have a voice on what specifically interests you. Now more than ever, there's certainly a way to explore things you're interested in.
You don't have to work at a daily newspaper. You don't have to be on national television. You can be a journalist just by deciding to be one and cultivate your voice, tell your story. It's now possible in a way that it never was before.
Student journalists can affect their communities. You can actually talk to people about things that matter. You can write about things that you wish you or someone else would change. You can write about things that are broken and should be fixed. And if you do that, people will pay attention. And at the same time, you're learning how to do the craft. And that's how I learned, starting in 6th, 7th grade.
Anyone at any age can make a difference. Just pick up your pen or your camera and use it to observe the people, places, and events in the world around you.